Hey, and thanks for clicking play. I don't do pickup videos, and you know what? I'm not going to be doing a pickup video for a long time because I've been told to not buy anything else. So I am going to do another one today. Right, what to show you first? We'll start with a bit of a random one. So this was given to me by a friend at work. There's a reason why I've got the Aptiva on the desk here, which I'll move shortly, just to get it out of the way. But because some of the stuff is relevant to what I want to do with this build, there will be a separate video on the Aptiva. But a friend of mine at work who's into PC said, "Oh, I'm sure I've got an old graphics card." So he went looking around and he put this on my desk. And he said, "That's PCI, isn't it?" And we took a good look, and it's certainly not AGP. And we're like, actually, do you know what? When I looked it up, I said, that's PCIe. That's definitely far too recent to go into this. It's only a 1 gig card. So it's not that great a card. So it's certainly not going to go in my Acer. It doesn't help with that. But I'm pretty sure the last time I was poking around inside the Pentium 4 down on the floor in the corner, I'm pretty sure that's got a PCIe slot. It's a bit of a beast of a machine the more I look at it. And I got that free from the college that I worked at the time. So possibly we might see what it's like to put a 1 gig PCIe card into a Pentium 4. Can we get it to work in Windows XP? And I guess, can it run Crysis? Would be what to do with that. So that could actually turn into something quite interesting. So that was a free pickup. So that's good. Let's move my coffee out of the way. And in fact, let's move my alternative to coffee, the wine, out of the way as well. And we can put that there for now. So 1 graphics card. Now, what else did I buy to go with the Aptiva? I did see on eBay the exact keyboard that goes with this machine, the exact one, same right color, and it has the palm rest and everything. And that was $50, so £25. But I saw something else I could get for a lot less. And really all I was after was something with the matching logo. I didn't care if it was period correct or model correct. That's not what I want to do with this build. So I picked up from the same seller this. Now that's completely the wrong color, but IBM, it's X-Office, so it has been used. And that's a PS2 keyboard. And so it's an experienced seller, really good gear on his shop. So that will go with the Aptiva quite nicely. I have actually already used it. I've just sort of rebundled the stuff up just so you can see them today. And same with this. So this isn't the first time I've opened this. From the same seller. Now this is, I've referred to it before as new old stock, but it's not really, but it is boxed unused. A bit of a funny story about the choice of this. So this is a boxed unused IBM mouse. The nice thing about this mouse is, I have already taken this out of the bag. I'm just sort of redoing this for you. I don't know if you can see that, but it's the colored IBM logo. I don't think that's coming across very well on the camera, but it's the 3 different colors. So to my eyes, that's red, green, and blue with the IBM logo. Quite a nice looking mouse. Now you'll notice it's quite small. Now this was actually advertised by the seller. Oh, the cable is unraveled. This was advertised by the seller as a Thinkpad travel mouse. And I looked at the pictures and I thought, it doesn't look that different in size. It's actually quite small, but really it's just an exercise for me. And I just want IBM logos on the things that go with this. And funnily enough, the screen that I'm using for this machine, which is in the other room, is a black LG. So I quite like the theme that I've got going here, where we've got this nice sort of 90s beige box with the IBM logo. And then we've got this transition into a slightly more modern look we've got an LG black DVD drive, an LG black flat panel, and then the IBM black. So it sort of follows a sort of accenting. I think that's what I'll call it, an accenting. So I'm quite happy with that. So the Aptiva isn't part of this pickup. I just wanted that there to put context behind those decisions. So I'll put that down to give us a bit more room. So those can go there. Let's move that out of the way. Don't drink the isopropanol. Okay, all right, so that's all for the Aptiva. Over there, what else have I got? Okay, so this is relevant to the Aptiva as well. It's two things, but the first one is relevant. And the reason I bought two things is because, again, they were from the same seller as each other. So the first one I spotted, and it was, I think it was like $5 or something. It was ridiculously cheap. So Unreal. No, it hasn't got the big box around it. And I'm not sure if there's a serial number I'm missing, because there's no serial number in here. So I'll find out when I try to install it. But that's a great period game for the Aptiva, I think. For that. And quite amusingly, the same seller was selling, and I couldn't resist it. Duke Nukem Forever. So this is the fourth time I've bought Duke Nukem Forever. I bought it when it first came out for the PS3, and then when I sold my PS3, I was gutted that I no longer had Duke Nukem Forever. I'm going to have to do a separate video on why I actually like Duke Nukem Forever. So then I bought it used for the Xbox 360, so I have that. And then I bought it for Steam, because really it's more of a PC game than a console game. And then so I saw a physical copy for sale by this seller, so I picked that up as well, because that was cheap as well. So Unreal and Duke Nukem Forever, so that's great. What else have I got? Okay, I know what I'll show you next. So I just want to again mention Neil from Retro Man Cave and the work that he did with his live streams as part of the lockdown in the UK, and just sort of encouraging the community to get together and sort of collaborate on videos, and you could submit stuff and stuff like that. Off the back of that, I chose to support his channel in a couple of ways, very small ways, nothing big at all. And one of the ways that I think if somebody's doing this kind of thing to raise money, because Neil does his channel full time, that's his only job now, and he does a really good job. And during the lockdown, he was literally doing a stream every night, hour and a half, 2 hours, and just going with it and supporting everybody and inviting everybody to chip in. It was fantastic. So to support him, and I will link to his Etsy shop and to his Patreon. If you want to support his channel, if you watch it, I really do, appreciate his stuff. So I bought from his shop the Cobra Mark III from Elite mug. So that's a nice mug there. And this is a bit of a tongue-in-cheek one that I did. You can order a retro mug. So you can have Retro Man Cave, or you can have Retro Your Name Cave, or your YouTube channel name Cave, or whatever, on this particular style of mug. But oh, I need to get Barbarian out, just so that you know. There was a bit of a thing that I sort of mentioned. I missed B, submitting a video for games beginning with B. So when we got to M, I said, I know we didn't do this at B, but M is for Maria Whittaker. And Maria Whittaker, if you're not familiar, is of course the model on the Barbarian cover art. So that was a great opportunity to just, once again, have a bit of Maria in our lives, which is great. So when I was looking at what I could do on his shop with regards to the custom mugs, I came up with this idea of Retro Maria Whittaker. So that's the explanation of that. Retro Maria Whittaker is the other mug that I have going there from Neil. So that's fantastic. They came all the way from the UK. He prints them himself. So it's just a good way of supporting a channel and getting something for yourself as well, if that makes sense. So that's nice. Right, what else have I got? Okay, Dave from Dave Plays Retro Games Badly. What have I got? Your favorite console of all time. I have. And now you're going to go crazy, because not only do I have one of your favorite consoles, N64s, I have two, excuse me, of your favorite consoles, the N64. If you don't know Dave from Retro Games Plays blah, 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 whatever I said earlier, do look up his channel. He hates the N64. He hates them. I love them. I have a soft spot, not for many consoles, but the N64 and the Atari Jaguar, which funnily enough, look fairly similar. Absolutely love them. Why do I have two? Okay, so this is a funny story. One of my nephews, this is my wife's nephew, so my nephew as well, I guess, He lives in a country town up Western Australia, and for years he's been collecting retro stuff and games, everything since the PlayStation 2 era, and then he's got stuff from earlier on, and they get them from garage sales, they get them from the recycle plant, the e-waste plant, and all that kind of stuff. Also with that, I got the controller, 2 power boards. This was loose, so I've actually done a resto. I haven't videoed it, just look up how to do it. I used the heat gun method and put a bit of grease in there, but it's still not great. So I do need to probably get some new replacement parts for inside. But the heat gun method is quite a sensible method. So I've got that. And most importantly, he gave me with these, obviously the AV cables and stuff, but the game that it's all about for me on the N64, there are a couple of others, but GoldenEye. So I'm actually looking forward to recollecting the games that I had on N64. And the great thing is they're really not that expensive. So how did my nephew, who's also called Chris, by the way, how did he come to these? So we're up there visiting and he was talking about some of the stuff that he had. They've got an Atari 2600 with a heap of box games that they got from a garage sale for like $10 or whatever. So £5 and all sorts of stuff. And then he goes, oh, I've got some N64s in a box in the garage. How many? About 8. And so this is one that I got from the the e-waste plant, a box of 8 random N64s, games, a boxed version of GoldenEye, a boxed, pretty much unused rumble pack, expansion packs, AV cables, power cables, just a massive random box. Oh, a SNES was in the box, SNES games, all sorts. Give me my background back. All of this stuff that he picked up for $10, so £5. This entire bundle he picked up. So I said, whoa, would you be keen to let one go? And GoldenEye, fortunately, was the only game that he had a double up of. So he gave me, and I took 2 N64s in case one didn't work, because obviously these things have literally been dropped off at a dump. 2 N64s in case one didn't work, 2 power bricks in case one didn't work, 1 set of AV cables because he only had 1 other set, and I took the unboxed copy of GoldenEye because at the end of the day it was his pick, so I didn't want to take the gold, so I took 1 copy, the unboxed copy of GoldenEye, and 1 of the many controllers that he had. So that's great. That's pretty much the bundle that I originally got, a grey controller, GoldenEye, N64. One of these N64s works, 1 doesn't, so it's a good job I picked both up. So I picked those up for about $30, I think I gave him, so £15. So he's tripled his money, and I've got 2 N64s, a controller, and a copy of GoldenEye for a bargain price. Win-win. So we were both very happy with that. So he was happy, I was happy. So that's fantastic. That's absolutely great. The last thing I'm going to show you today is going to be a bit, because I've purposely not mentioned this console. Okay. Let's think about what I actually want to do with this channel. Yes, it's about the Amiga. Absolutely it is. From there, it's going to go into the early PC gaming era. And I'm going to put some later stuff in, PlayStation VR I've already played with, because I just enjoy anything that I enjoy, basically. But really for me, it's about the memories tied to the systems that I had. And that's why I want my actual main collection to be things that I had and only the games that I had. That's where I'm trying to focus on. This console that I'm about to show you is a very special pickup because this is the first console my family had. Where did we get our original from? No, actually, I'll tell you all that when I do a video about it, okay? Because that's where those memories belong. So I'll just show you what the console is. So this pickup was basically, it was listed as untested, which, let's face it, is usually code for not working. But when I do a video about it, we'll see what actually occurred. And I tried to, it was a bidding. The opening bid was like $73. And I wasn't really happy with that. So I tried to put some lowball offers in because he did have make offer available and he wasn't interested. I started a conversation with him and the guy, he's a nice guy. I did some 2 and 4 with him and he's a nice guy at the end of it. But he was unfortunately under the delusion that this was the only one of these consoles to ever be sold on eBay in Australia, which is not the case. And I don't know why the ones previously listed aren't showing up when you do a search. They come up all the time. But anyway, what I decided to do, because it had listed 3 times, I decided to go in with the minimum bid and I won it because nobody else was bidding on it. Let's have a look. What I have And I'm actually really pleased to have this, even though not many people would list this as one of their favorite consoles or even a collectible. But what I have here is a Philips, so not the Magnavox Odyssey branded version, but a Philips G7000 video pack. And funnily enough, this is exactly the same as the one we had, because there's several renditions of this, and this is the one where the cables, you can't unplug any of the cables. Everything actually goes straight through into the motherboard on the inside of the console. So that's a rock for its back, to be honest, but it's a great console. So it's sort of same period as the Atari 2600, but has this membrane keyboard, which actually does get used in quite a few of the games that you can get for it. So I'm really excited to getting into this, to playing with it, and doing a few videos about this, because this is the genesis for my family, and really it turned into the genesis for me. But again, I don't want to say too much, because I'll do a video on it. But of course, if you buy that, because that didn't have any games with it, well then you've got to buy some games, otherwise how are you going to know if it works? So I've bought 2 games, and these are strictly and I've been offered games that aren't in the games that we had, so I've strictly stuck to the games that we owned as a family. So I've got game number 14, which I believe is called Gunfighter. So there we go. That's that. And these, if you're not familiar with them, these come with these neat little cartridges with a little handle. And even an arrow to tell you which way it goes in, because you try and put it in that way. I don't know. And quite a cool retractable sort of protector thing for the contact on the end there. So I got, that is Gunfighter number 14. I can't wait to play this on video, because this is actually quite a hilarious game, I think. And then it's a first-person shooter / space simulator. What, for the Philips video pack? Yes. It's game number 11, which he says, looking at the top, is called Cosmic Conflict, and we had this as well. I don't know if you can see there's a slight rip-off of TIE fighters in one of the screenshots there. And when we come to play this game, we'll talk about the cover art and the game itself and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm really happy. I'm actually really happy. Oh, that should be up on the shelf, shouldn't it? Sorry, that should actually be. Let's just push everything else out there. Push my modern PC mouse out of the way, because that's not important. And where should we stack the games? Up there somewhere. There we go. So I think that's everything. I've got cables drooping all over me. Oh, it's stuck in the wheels of my chair. There we go. I thought it was going to fall off. So all that lot, let's move those out the way to there. Sorry, Amiga Mouse, you've been superseded temporarily. There we go. So I'm quite happy with all of that. And everything here is relevant to where I want to go. So that's good. Less distractions this time. Thanks, guys. Take care.